Hey there, my friend. Welcome to your weekly wisdom card draw. This is your time to pause, to connect with yourself, to reflect on where you are, and to commit or recommit to shining your light in the world. So I encourage you to give yourself this gift of time and space for you. Allow yourself to just be here right now and just absorb the energy of the moment. I'm going to draw a card from our deck, which is in PowerPoint right now, but which will later this year be an actual card deck. And as we do that, right before I do that, before we dive in, I would love to invite you again to just arrive right here, right now. And that could look like glancing around at your surroundings, noticing what's around you as if you're seeing it for the first time, allowing yourself to just experience this moment in all its newness for the first time, because it is in fact the first time you're experiencing this moment. You can also close your eyes if that feels good. Maybe placing a hand on your heart to connect yourself to your body. Another great way to connect to the body is just noticing the breath. Noticing the breath coming in, noticing it going out. Just taking this pause to let yourself just be. And as you continue to breathe and be, I'm going to bring the cards up to my heart and ask to be guided to the message that will be of highest service and most inspiration to you today. What message is your heart really longing to hear? What message is your soul calling you to listen to? What will most inspire you to take maybe one small step into greater alignment with who you really are? And with that intention out there, I'm going to shuffle the cards. Let's see which message is waiting for us today. You can just keep breathing, noticing, just keep being present. And our message is rhythm. I like this. So these are the waves going in and out on the shore of Big Sur, California. Beautiful place. Our rhythm. Our message is gather energy. Take action and unleash that energy. Pause to rest and recover. Gather energy again. The ocean rolls into shore rhythmically, but never in exactly the same way. It's a repeatable pattern, but different in each iteration. The elements are the same: water, shore. Timing changes, pace changes, strength changes. If you're struggling to integrate all the areas of your life into a coherent flow, take a big enough step back to see the big picture. What do you really want? Cycles of great change can disrupt our comfortable, familiar routines. What routines need some disruption? Even if you keep all the elements, maybe it's time to vary the order or the way that you do them. Give yourself permission to experiment and find a rhythm that works for you. Let that sink in for a bit. So rhythm. Yes, I love this idea that, the waves never stop, right? They're kind of the eternal perpetual motion machine, and yet they are different every time. And there is a varying in pace, varying in the strength of the waves, but they're always in that same general pattern. So disruption, where does disruption fit in? Sometimes we do have some patterns, or we have adopted some patterns that maybe aren't serving us, or maybe used to serve us but aren't serving us anymore. And it's not often that we actually stop and maybe reassess those patterns. One of the big things I think about when I think about patterns and integrating all the facets of your life and maybe what patterns need disrupting, you think about the pandemic, right? There was a huge collective pattern interrupt when the pandemic happened, and it was extremely disruptive no matter what your situation was. So some people, it was really heartbreaking and earth shattering. For some people, it was liberating. There was a huge spectrum of experiences that happened as a result of the pandemic. And where we are as a globe, as a humanity, is completely different from where we were before. And there are new possibilities and potentials that have come out of that. Again, maybe sometimes they seem harder than before. Some seem maybe perhaps, again, a little bit more liberating than before. So are there patterns that need disruption for you? Is there a new rhythm that you want to adopt? So I like this idea that you don't have to just throw everything out the window. You can assess where you are, what you're doing. Maybe there's rituals that you want to add into your daily routine or take out of your daily routine to feel more aligned. You could just, again, vary the order that you do things in and find a lot of space and liberation in that. So I encourage you to assess what your kind of daily pattern of life looks like. And sometimes a day is a little bit too small, right? Maybe you look at the week, right? And in the course of a week, what are kind of the big things that you do? And what are the smaller things that you do? And are there things, if you just, again, change the order a little bit or change the frequency of some of them, that would actually make a really big change in your feeling of satisfaction, your feeling of flow. So we can actually create more flow for ourselves even by rearranging the things that we do. Maybe it is starting something new or saying no and completing something that you are no longer really excited about doing. So reflect on that this week and where your rhythm could perhaps use some adjustment and some more spice, right? So I just want to take one quick look. Yeah, what do you really want? Yes, focusing on this question of what you really want. So giving yourself permission to really dive into what you really want. I think a lot of times also we create these rhythms around expectations and ways of life, patterns of life that we think we want. And then we do them for a while and discover that maybe they're not taking us to what we really want. And sometimes we don't really know what we really want. So that actually takes some pause too and some reflection and some asking questions. It's okay to ask the universe, what do I really want here? I know I found myself there quite a bit recently, maybe thinking that I wanted this one thing, but if it's not working out the way I exactly expected, is there something else that I really want? What's getting in the way? And I'm, bringing some curiosity to that. So you bring some curiosity too, to, again, the rhythms of your life, the patterns of what you actually want, and see what comes up. Maybe something will surprise you. And as you roll in and out and allow yourself to pause, do the action, and then allow yourself to rest. That's one other thing that you're not always the wave crashing into the shore, right? Sometimes you're the wave pulling back and resting and recovering and giving yourself that bigger picture view. It takes both of those parts of the cycle to make a complete wave. So don't feel like you always have to be on the up and rushing to shore and doing all the things. Let yourself be in the recovery phase and the gathering strength and energy, and then rolling forward with purpose again. My friend, I hope you have a rhythmic week and enjoy contemplating this topic of rhythm. Thank you for being with me here in the rhythm of this ritual that we are creating, and I look forward to seeing you next week.